Well, hello everyone, and we are on the road with sister stories, inquisitive and curiously learning the stories of amazing women of the world. We are in Indianapolis, Indiana today with Christie, and she is just a gift to our sisterhood. So Christie, introduce yourself today.
Hi Betsy, I'm Christie Thrasher Rudd, and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, home of the CRT and MRT method.
See, and you're thinking like, home of what? Well, we're going to get back there, but Christie and I share something very important. We both went to Purdue University.
Go Boilers!
Okay, but the best part is Christie was a cheerleader.
Yes.
As I say, boiler up, and the rest of the world's like, what? Only Christie would be like, yeah. Boiler up. Tell us, Christie, a little bit about your story, because before you were today and invented this method and your kind of fitness for everyone, go back to what inspired you on this path.
Well, after college and cheerleading, like you mentioned, I actually took a turn into the apparel industry. And I was traveling around the U.S. selling clothing and doing that route. And I found, since I was young, that I had always had a set practice with cheerleading, with dance, with gymnastics, even through college. And after that, I didn't have that set time. So I was realizing I need to move. I need to do some kind of fitness something. And I started just like jogging and doing different things, and then I realized that maybe teaching classes on the side of my apparel industry would be a thought. So I started at a local club, just getting certified an aerobic instructor. Loved it. It was just like being in front of the crowd when I was cheering at Purdue.
Right, and the crowd was back.
Yeah, it was just that feeling again. I'm like, okay, there's something here. Mm-hmm. So I continued with my clothing because I needed revenue.
Yeah, real job.
And I needed a real job. And yeah, fitness really didn't pay that much, but it wasn't even about that. It still isn't about that for me. It's just the passion. So I increased my classes. From there, I decided to open up a little studio. It was only 600 square feet, and take one-on-one clients along with teaching my classes and traveling and working with the apparel.
only just five things on your plate.
Yeah, because I wanted to see if it was going to take off.
Right.
And so I started small, and from there, I grew into 1,500 square feet, teaching my own classes at my own studio. I also incorporated the apparel with that by putting fitness clothing and like leisure wear in the studio itself.
Activewear,
yeah, so I
had a little of both.
A little of both. Both of my I graduated in fashion and in fitness, and so I was able to utilize both of those degrees from Purdue, which was under one roof, and it was great. So.
And is that the studio that we're in today?
No. I like to reinvent. Mm-hmm. I get bored. Yeah. I get bored easily, so from there, it was in Broad Ripple, which is a fun little place here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And then I was approached to move into like a neighborhood that's Meridian Kessler, a little upper scale, and I couldn't beat the offer, and so I moved in, and I was able to really make it my own, and still with the clothing I had upstairs, and then it was a lower level facility, and I incorporated at that time a little child care area because I started having children.
There you go.
And so I was able to bring my babies to work. They were able to watch movement, hear music, which I think is so empowering for them. So they've grown up. My kids are now 21, 19, and 13, but they all experienced that as infants.
Right.
Watching mommy move and that. So that was a beautiful thing. That wasn't my last place, though. My last place is right here. Mm-hmm. And I moved here because at the time, TRX, which all of you are probably familiar with, it's straps that hang from the ceiling. I wasn't able to do that in my last location, but I wanted to incorporate that. So I had to move just across the street where we are here, and you can see, I don't know if you can see in the back, but you can see the straps, and it was for TRX. And I did TRX classes, and from there I found it was really hard, especially for women, on our joints, especially our wrists and different things, suspending. I like TRX. I think there are certain exercises that are okay for women, but for a whole workout, it was just too much. And so a light bulb went off, and I started putting a spry tube through the overhang of the TRX straps. And from there, came up with over 100 exercises and a method behind it. It was awesome. It still is. But at that time, it was just so much easier on our joints, and I could do so much more. I hired an engineer from Purdue, so I got to go back to Purdue and bring an engineer in who helped me put together a prototype for the CRT, which stands for Cardio Resistance Trainer. A lot of people think it's my initials, but it's not. In a monogram it is, CRT, but not, so that's what it stands for, because not only were you getting cardio with it, you got resistance training with it. So it was an overall great workout, I keep saying was,
Yeah, it is.
but I'm thinking about when I was developing it.
Yeah, sure.
So we got the prototype together and started using it. At that time, my father had a massive stroke, and another light bulb went off because he was bedridden in the hospital, and they don't allow you to go to rehab until you're strong enough to get out of bed. So I took my CRT and I stood on top of his bed because it's overhang, and I held it and I put it on his left side, because with a stroke, the left side body is the weakest, and started rehabbing him. And he got stronger faster, got to go to rehab sooner. It was a win-win. That's where the MRT came about, and that stands for Medical Resistance Therapy.
Wow.
It's the same product, but it's latex-free, because in hospitals it has to be. And it was great. So that was a whole nother world, a whole nother method that I'm still developing now. Had it at Riley Hospital with the kids. My vision still today is to see it in children's hospitals where there's balloons hanging from it and streamers, because the kids loved it. There were children that were using it like a bungee, and they were able to stand and jump, which they weren't able to do prior to that. So that's a whole nother world that I really haven't touched on. So I'm trying to find someone to run with that. So if there are any women, anyone out there that that may be in
background and could have some passion for that.
Yes, because it's really, I think, an amazing thing. And anyone in a wheelchair, to have that accessibility overhead to work their core, because they can't really stand, you're working it from above. It's something different. So that's a whole another thing that I would love to see. I feel like the MRT could surpass the CRT, because there's just such a demand for rehab and people that maybe are forgotten in the exercise world.
Well, oh my gosh, your passion is so great. Tell me, because I'm a lifetime person who has tried and tried many different ways to exercise. That's good for my body. I guess what I've learned now, at 58 years old, is exercise really is important to be customized to the different person. Because what some able-bodied person might be able to do, my 2 hip replacements don't do that well. And what are the really keys to lifetime fitness for people? What is your experience?
That is a great question and insight. And what I have found, especially pertaining to women, is that I actually went to New York last year to a fitness conference and was able to showcase the CRT method. These women range from 20s to 60s. Okay, they're all professionals. We did the CRT workout, and they were all strong, they were all fit, and they loved it. The one thing that all of them were lacking, and I find as we move on in life, is one of the most important things you can work on, is your balance.
Your balance.
Your balance. This challenges the balance in a way like no other workout, and for that I feel is something that is needed.
Right.
And there's lacking in the fitness world.
Right.
And also going back to it being a workout for all bodies, all ages, it is. I have all different ages, all different fitness levels coming to class, and there's modifications, and it's just it truly is for every body.
Right.
So
what year was it then? So you modified, you saw the TRX product, which is in the marketplace. You started your own creative use of that by modifying it. Then from there, you invented your own products, which is amazing. You've got your studio. So then, like, what happens now? Because you're sold out in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I can't get all the way from Denver 3 times a week. I know that. So I'm sending my sister in to be in the classes. But what happens? How do we get this out in the world?
There are a few different options. Okay, I certify instructors throughout the U.S. if they have a facility that they can implement it for group fitness. I also developed in-home on-the-go version, which I use a lot because when I travel, I go and train people or open new studios or go to Italy, whatever, with my family. I take it with me, and it's in a little bag. It just fits in a bag.
Do you put it on a door? Is that what you do?
There is a door attachment, and then you hook it and can do all the exercises, like the overhang is the top of the door, and then the baseboard work that we also do with it is on the base of the door. And so you can do basically all the exercises with that. And what else where were we going with this?
Yeah,
and then
certifying
instructors, and then nowadays online presence is big. It's huge. People want to work out like the Peloton and all of that. I have instructors that can train people from their computer wherever, and they can make revenue on the side, or and so it gives a lot of housewives, anyone that can work from their home and do something that benefits others
and helps the world. We all have to take care of our body, mind, and spirit so we can do our good work in the world. And it's something that's really on my bucket list to be better at, and next year to really, embrace more ways of fitness. So I just might have to be a home version user.
Yeah, and I know, Betsy, you said you love yoga.
Yeah, I love yoga
and Pilates. So I have a CRT yoga that is really nice because you can do certain poses, say the triangle pose, and you have the CRT resistance with you. So you get a little edge to it. It's also helpful when I do that class, like hitting like a half moon pose. Some people struggle with that balance, but you have the CRT as a little leverage, but you're also getting resistance. So and we do it with a step. So studios, anyone that has like the old step Reebok, I've reinvented it with the CRT over the top of it, exercise balls with the CRT. So it continues to grow and is extremely versatile, whatever needs that you may have. So
Christie, you are amazing.
Oh,
you are
thank
amazing.
you.
It's so great to see your passion for the world and for helping people find fitness that really works for them. That's real, right? That's really life-giving. So we always ask everybody, when it was tough, what did you learn? And because people think, oh, look at her successful studio and she's all sold out, and oh, she's all that. And, I love to tell the true stories of women, and I'm always curious to hear, what did you learn along your path?
Well, first of all, never give up. And if you have a passion for something, even if it already exists, if you can tweak it somehow, make it your own, and flourish and spread it to the world, don't hesitate. Do it. Another thing that I feel is realizing that fitness is a lifestyle, just like maybe eating healthy and getting a good night's sleep. It's a lifestyle. So you have to find time for it, for you. And there can be excuses, but it really is something that you need to do for you.
Well, I just talked to some of the ladies leaving the class when I was observing today,
Yeah.
and one of the ladies said, "This is the best thing I do for my mind, is work out with Christie." So it's not, it's fitness is good for your mind, your body, and your spirit. And I do believe that it's very important for especially women to prioritize doing things for ourselves. We get
Yes.
so spent on giving to others
Yeah.
that it's so important.
Especially as we move on in life.
Yes. As
Yeah.
we have the opportunity for personal growth called getting older. Oh my gosh. How much fun is that? Well,
Yeah.
what are you excited about now? So you've got these two cool products. You're expanding in the world. Is that what's up for you? Is there something else that's going on?
Well, fortunately, I have the patent on the product, and so I was approached by a woman out of Santa Fe, New Mexico, because it's called Board 30, and she has franchises around the U.S. and actually going into Asia, and with an in-home version as well. So she wanted to incorporate overhang, and it was a match made in heaven, because she needed me, I need her.
Yeah.
And so we are working now to take this over to Asia. She has the boards, and then I have the CRT overhang, and together we are going to combine resources and just
combine
flourish.
forces for
yeah,
good.
Yeah, and she's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Awesome.
Lori
Well, I'll have to
Mahoney,
go to
so-
Santa Fe and interview her, and then I want
Yeah.
to go with you to Asia, of course, when you're rolling them out. We'll
Yes.
take the whole show.
Okay.
And we'll shoot and match. We'll do an entire documentary about the rollout of Fitness for Good in the world, and that'll be so fun.
I would love to have you by my side.
Yay.
It'd be great.
Well, so we ask everyone to do a global statement for women of the world. So just if you just have one thing to say to women who are listening to your story and they're super inspired, not only to do their dream, but also to take time for their own fitness and for their own self in the world, what would you tell them?
Take baby steps, but make sure that you take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be good for anyone else in your life. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, you have a passion for something, expand on it. Never give up.
Well, that is an awesome global statement for women, and everyone is like me, like, okay, I got to get the home kit, I got to get started on this. So tell everyone how to
Baby
find out
steps.
more about you and your products.
Okay, you can visit us at www.thecrtmethod.com. We have all the products from the commercial use in studios to the in-home on-the-go version. And you can also reach me at ChristieFitt@gmail.com, ChristieFitt@gmail.com, and I am open to you reaching out to me personally.
Awesome.
I would love it.
Well, everybody in the world, we have found another sister who is on fire for passionate pursuit of all life can be through being fit in your body, mind, and spirit. She is an innovator. Yeah. She is a Purdue alumni. What else could we say? She's a boiler. She's a mom of 3. I can barely do 1. She's a mom of 3. As you can see, just such a bright light in the world. And we look forward to following you and supporting you and getting behind you as you continue on this big journey. And we're just so thankful, Christie, for your time today.
And I'm thankful for you.
Thank you for being on the show. And all of you listening, thank you for taking time to enjoy these curious stories of amazing women that have ideas for you and your life and your business. Please share these sister stories with your friends as we all help each other to live our best lives and to make a difference in the world. This is your host, Betsy Wiersma.